Welcome back to another part. Well, today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be creating an input processor. And the reason why we are going to be creating this is primarily because when I was looking and playing with the app, I noticed if I use the multi-touch option, what ends up happening is the last touch that I currently have in it stays set. So, for example, I press 1 and I keep my one finger down and then I press 3. What ends up happening is when I let them both go and I press a different number, say 2, what will happen is that will count as touch number 1 again, and then touch number 2 is still on that number 3, even though my finger is not there. So it comes like a phantom touch. So what we're going to be needing to do is we are going to be creating an input processor that actually listens for when we touch down and we touch up. So this is how we're going to be solving this particular problem. Now, the first thing we're going to do, and I've already done this, so just giving you a heads up on here, inside of my core, I ended up creating a brand new class called Touch Manager. And inside this Touch Manager, it implements InputProcessor, and then it automatically created these particular methods. Now, in these methods, we are only going to be working with touch down and touch up. We don't really care about everything else. They generally won't be formed at the top if you use the add unimplemented methods, but I did put it at the top so you guys can see what's going on here. Now, before we even get started on that, is we want to create a brand new class called My Touch. Okay, and you guys can create a class inside of a class as long as this one here is not public. Okay, so we are going to create a class called My Touch, and My Touch is going to have a few methods in here. It's going to have a public integer called x, a public integer called y, and we are going to have a public boolean called is down, and we are going to set that equal to false automatically. So, and we are going to set these equal to 0 and 0. Okay. Also, in this particular method, we are going to have a public static variable that's called a myTouch. So the type is a myTouch, and we are going to call this one touches. Okay, and it's actually going to be an array. This array is going to have 5 touches in it, so we're going to do new touches 5, a capital myTouch. Okay, it's going to have 5 in here, and we'll initialize this particular touch array at the beginning of our program. So inside of here, we are going to find out what the touchdown is. The touchdown is going to be pretty easy, so we're going to do touches, and actually first we're going to check to see how many touches we have. So if pointer is less than 5, okay, if it's less than 5, pointer equals true. Dot is down is equal to true. Touches pointer dot x is equal to the screen x, and touches pointer y is equal to screen y. All right, then we're going to return true. Same here with the touches up, so we're going to have touch up return true, and we are going to do the exact same thing here, but the difference between these two, so I'm going to copy this over, is the is down is going to be false because we're no longer touching. And we're just going to default these out to 0, 0, just in case. So this right here is our input manager. We're going to save this, or input processor, my bad. Okay, so this right here is the way we're going to be handling things. So let's go back into our sound manager. Sound manager is our main game. So what we need to do is first we need to say that this is going to be handling the input, or our touch manager will be handling the input. So the way we're going to be doing this is we're going to do this at the top right here, and we're going to do this dot set, I lie, input, I guess, let's try this one, GDX dot input dot set input processor. We're going to do new touch manager. Okay, and that will automatically call the other one, so that's great. Then we are going to go to touch manager dot touches, and we are going to loop this and create our new touches. So the way we're going to do this is just create a simple for loop. Oh, that's less than 5 because that's how many touches we want. We don't need the curly braces because this is only going to be a single line. And we're just going to put this I equals new my touch. Okay, and we're going to import. So where did that import from? Import up here. No existing. Is accessible. Interesting. I'm not 100% sure why that's doing that. So let's do this way then. Since this, I'm so sorry about that, guys. I know that was like kind of a long pause for when I was trying to do this. What we're going to do is we're just going to kick that class out. We're going to call that my touch right here. Okay, my touch, we're just going to come over here and steal this part here. Control X, get rid of my touch. Then we're going to just throw this in here like so. So I'm kind of fixing that on the fly. I'm so sorry that I had a little bit of thing on there. And when we're going to be, yeah, that should be fine here. So let's go back into Sound Manager. Now that's gone. Okay. So now my Touch Manager has our touches in it, and we're just going to create a bunch of now my touches. Okay. So when we touch down on it, it's going to call the touch manager. The touch manager saying, "Hey, we touched down on it. Here's the location of it. Here you go." Then when we lift up our finger, then it's going to set everything to false. We're good to go. So now that we have that done, we do need to fix the sounds down here because it's still looking at the just touched elements here. So right now we're going to leave all this the same. However, what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of these inputs. Actually, we could keep them in. What we're going to do with these is we are going to go with touch manager dot touches /I. Actually, the first thing we need to do is if the touch manager dot touches I dot is down. So if it is down, then we can go and do all this fun stuff. Okay. So if that is down, we can do everything. If it is not down, or if it's not down, then we just skip it. Then we come over here, touch manager, touches I dot Y. And this should, since we already created these variables to deal with everything else, it should automatically handle everything else for me. So now I have, when it touches down, it fixes that multi-touch issue here. Now, before we even get started over here, we wanted to probably do it for the animal code as well. The animal code, we are going to be just changing a few things. The first thing we're going to change is if GDX li touch manager dot touches I, and if it is down, then we go through everything. If not, we grab the touch manager touches I dot X. Copy that. And then we come over here. Do the same thing for Y. So that is the big deal with adding that. Now, next video I'm going to be skipping. The main reason why is it's a rehash of getting the animals in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting the animals in for the second screen. So since we've already done this with the numbers, I'm going to be using a very similar piece of code, and I don't want to record myself doing the same thing twice. So I will be putting in this portion of code for the animals and the sounds. So next time you see this code, it will be a little bit more robust, and we will be doing 2 more videos for this one before we end. The first one is going to be particle effects. We will be adding particle effects because when we touch the numbers, I like them to burst out with either the number or the or some sort of effect. The second thing that I want to do is I want to do a cleanup episode of trying to handle resources before we even try to put this in the store. So thank you guys for watching, and we are almost done with this particular app. And have a great day, and happy coding!